Hello everyone. Today I would like to read out the 16th chapter titled The Way to the Prison from my manuscript The Imprisonment. This is a fictional story created for awareness and storytelling. It does not promote or justify any form of crime or harmful activity. Viewer discretion is advised. I'd like to read out the story. The next day, Archana reached the prison. Something felt different. Anamika was pacing inside her cell, restless, unsettled. The cell door opened with a sharp screech. For the first time, Archana sensed uneasiness in her. "Good morning," Archana said softly. Anamika looked at her, but did not respond. "You don't look like yourself today," Archana continued. "Is something disturbing you?" Anamika paused. "The more I speak about my past, the more terrible I feel. I couldn't sleep last night. Sometimes I feel my actions were justified, and sometimes silence followed." Archana hesitated. Should she continue or give her time? Before she could decide, Samir spoke. "That's self-realization. I feel the same. Sometimes." He glanced at his book, pretending to read. Both Archana and Anamika looked at him. This was unexpected. Archana thought, maybe he isn't what I imagined. Samir continued calmly. "It's sad. Life doesn't give second chances. Once you're labeled a criminal, that identity never leaves you. Even if you change, you're seen as a case, not a human." Sad, but true. For the first time, Archana felt a shift. She turned back to Anamika. "May I ask you something? Why didn't you suggest alternatives? Why hysterectomy?" Anamika replied without hesitation, "Because it's foolproof. For women living on dark streets, their lives are already dangerous. The more I understood their reality, the worse I felt. If they couldn't conceive, maybe they could escape that life." She paused. "Anyway, I'll continue. That night after dinner, my fiancé dropped me home. I was uncomfortable, but I didn't tell my parents. I wanted to handle it myself. My understanding of psychology helped me. With no support, I chose the path that seemed right. One day, he said he wanted me to meet his friends. I agreed. I was hoping to meet Ajay." Samir looked up, closed his book. Now he was listening. As expected, Ajay was there. He seemed polite, warm. Gradually, we became friends. My fiancé slowly stepped out of the picture. And then one day, he ended the relationship. No explanation. I understood. It was all planned. They thought I was easy to manipulate. I stayed silent. I pretended I didn't know. My revenge wasn't anger. I wanted to bring them down strategically. I acted heartbroken, and Ajay came closer. At first, it was all an act, but slowly it changed. We started liking each other, Anamika said. For a moment, I wanted to forgive him. I even confessed that I had been pretending. And then he told me the truth. I wanted to be with him, but on one condition: he had to leave his father's world. This didn't happen overnight. It took time. People change based on who they are with. Maybe I influenced him more. It wasn't easy. There were risks, conflicts, dangers, but somehow he walked away. He convinced his father to shut down the empire and redirect everything towards something better. They couldn't undo the past, but they could stop the future. I still don't know how he managed it. He was intelligent like his father. The father used it for destruction. The son chose differently. Samir looked at her, not with anger, but with something else. A faint smile, a quiet shock. Archana spoke softly. "I think what you did was brave. But how did Ajay convince people like him? And how is he still alive? People like that don't let others walk away." Samir replied, "That part she doesn't have. That story is with me." Archana looked at him, this time not with fear but curiosity. Anamika continued, "Their empire fell, but there were people watching me too. There were evidences against me, not concrete but enough for further interrogation. This is how I landed here. I was tired. When the world stands against you, it's not easy to keep fighting. I don't have the strength anymore. I'm ready to face the consequences. I feel guilty sometimes, and sometimes I don't." Silence filled the space. As Archana stepped out, something changed inside her. She began to understand Darshan's vision. Maybe punishment is not always the answer. Maybe transformation is. Criminals spread fear. But what if we stopped responding with fear? What if we showed them the damage they caused, not through punishment, but through awareness? Lives lost cannot return, but maybe something better can still be built. As she walked down the road, ideas began forming, not on papers, but in her mind. Just like her brother was building Shanti Ghar, she too was building something invisible and perhaps more powerful. That's all for the day. Do let me know your thoughts about this story by writing in the comments section. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.